This video is aimed at any teacher who would like to know a little bit more about what the digital library is. In this video we shall be answering two questions. Of course, what is the digital library? And where can I find it? This is part one. In part two of this video, we will be looking at how to use the digital library in the classroom. So if you already know what the digital library is and where to find it, you can just skip ahead to that video. So what is the digital library? Well, basically it is PDF electronic copies of textbooks that we already have on the shelves. What we can do with these PDF copies is we can either display them in class and show them to our students on the IWB. You can cut them up and incorporate them as part of your Smart Notebook presentation without ever having to photocopy or print off any pages. Or you can use them to make different handouts. If you want to steal an exercise from one book, you can just cut that piece out using the electronic library and put it into a Word document, for example. This brings us to the question of why. Why would you want to do any of those things? Well, there are many reasons why we should be using the digital library a little bit more. First is that it creates vibrant presentations. It looks beautiful on the board and is easy for the students to see. It's engaging for them. You can also show the students which exercise you want them to do. Rather than just holding up the book at the front of the class, you can display it about 5 times bigger on the IWB. And you can, of course, write on those exercises, so you can fill in the gap fills so that students can know where the answers are and what the answers are without having to keep asking what is exercise 3 or something like that. It looks more professional. It can help us to save paper if you put it on the IWB and you don't give them a copy. And I think the most important feature for me is that it leaves you open to adaptation. By this, I mean that if you have one course book that you're using and you decide one day that you would like to use a different course book, rather than making loads of photocopies or handing out that book to all the students, you can simply go to the digital library, choose the exercises from the lesson that you want, from whichever book that you want, and put it on the IWB and make it part of your lesson. So where can you find this digital library? Well, it is in the T drive, which is in the teachers' rooms on all 3rd and 6th floor teacher room computers. It's not in classrooms though. So if there is something from the digital library you want to use in class, you will of course have to save it to your USB, probably as part of your Smart Notebook presentation, and then open it up once you get to class. If you open up the T drive, you'll be given these choices or something similar. Books or digital library. This is the digital library here. If you go into that folder, you'll find all of these books. This is not actually an up-to-date screenshot that you can see at the moment. We've recently added business books here as well. So we've got CAE books, CPE books, FCE books, GE books, IELTS books, and pre-sessional books. All the exam course books also include test practice material. And as I mentioned before, we do also have the business books. So, how can you use the digital library? If you watch the second video in this series, you'll find out more about how you can actually use it in your class. If you have any questions about what the digital library is, please feel free to contact either myself, Adam G, or Adam T. We are both very happy to help.